All right, talking some basketball here on the show tonight, and who better to do that with than you know how Stephen Colbert on his show, The Colbert Report, has the guy they look up to as Papa Bear, and that's Bill O'Reilly from the O'Reilly Factor. On this show, we kind of look up to one, and that's Aaron Kraft. He's been the guy, and Aaron Kraft, a great Buckeye, fantastic dude, is with us here tonight. Aaron, thanks so much for giving us the time, man. Glad to have you on the show for the first time.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me.
Aaron, how would you describe the first few days out in the world with an Ohio State degree in hand? I remember the day I walked out of college. I had an 8-hour-a-week guaranteed for me producing a local hunting and fishing and auto racing talk show in Kansas City. I know your options are a lot more exciting than that. What are you up to now?
Yeah, it's actually a little crazy. You know, I officially have no title at this point. So right now I'm just trying to do everything I can to become the best basketball player I can be to, hopefully get an opportunity to continue to play somewhere.
Before we get to that, before we look ahead to what's going to be an exciting couple of months for you, take us back to March, how your college career ended, your senior season, and not to ask if you're satisfied with it because I know you'd say no, but has time helped you live with it with the way it ended?
I don't know. I don't think I'm ever going to be comfortable with it. Obviously, that's the beauty of the tournament, and it's very tough. And anytime you take something for granted, it can very easily be taken away. And for 3 years we went to the Sweet 16, and this year you just kind of you don't assume, but you get into that expectation. So it definitely hurts. Time hasn't helped a ton. A lot of people like to ask about it still too, but it is what it is. We can't go back and change it. Obviously, there's things I wish we could change, but I'm very, very happy and satisfied with the 4 years that I got to spend at Ohio State.
I thought you'd made that shot. You thought that was going in, didn't you? Just the way the drive down the floor and.
I did. An inch or two to the left, I think it goes in, but you had the ball in my hands. So you just didn't put it in.
Part of the thing that your coach Thad Matta has done, he's raised the bar at Ohio State by getting some great players before you, and you of course kept that thing going to an incredible level. But with what it takes, I mean, it takes a lot to impress people now. And it becomes tougher for, the critics to give you that success label unless you do really big things, like get to a Final Four, it seems what you got to do. Would you call that last season of Buckeye Hoops successful in your mind?
I don't think we played up to the standard that, coach and the players that came before us had really kind of set. They definitely set the bar high. And, not taking away anything that we did, we won 25 games still, which is, still pretty impressive, making the NCAA tournament and things like that. But, like you said, coach has done a phenomenal job of building a program and building a culture around Ohio State basketball. And I'm not sure if, as a team, we played up to that standard that he has there. And, I can take blame for that being one of the two seniors, not leading the guys in the way they needed to be led. And doing what needed to be done. Hopefully, Coach obviously is a phenomenal guy, and he's got great coaches around him. They'll figure it out, and love the group coming back.
Aaron Kraft with us here on Buckeye Xtra, 4-year star for the Ohio State men's basketball team. He's making the next step right now. So as we're under 2 months from the NBA draft, what's a typical day? Like for you right now in terms of workout regimen and preparation?
Yeah, it's getting up not too early, but not too late, which is kind of nice. It's about working out. So I work out, 2-3 times a day. Try to take care of my body more than I have throughout my life, which is, it's crazy the amount of time that there is in a day if you don't have to go to class and worry about doing schoolwork. So it's still trying to find that routine. It's still definitely fresh with graduation happening a couple of days ago. But you just try to get in the gym and lift and do the things that you normally would do. We're just trying to do a little more, get in a couple of times a day instead of just once.
So you said to me you're in North Carolina, you're in Raleigh training. Is that where your spot's going to be here for the foreseeable future?
I'm not sure. It was. I think we kind of wanted to get out of Columbus a little bit, get outside of my comfort zone.
Sure.
And go about it that way. This is a place where obviously a little different. There's other players that I haven't been around, and I'm just trying to lose myself in basketball for a week or two. So, that's kind of what we're going at right now, and it's been a good time.
Aaron, without being too general here, because obviously for all of your fans, one of the beautiful things about watching you play for these 4 years and what's inspiring is just the way you play the game, the aggressiveness, the intensity, and just how much you care about playing defense. And you've become the all-time steals leader in the conference, all-time assist leader at the school as well. But specifically about defense, and I think it's important because a lot of young people who are learning the game of basketball would be listening. How would you say, what is like the first couple things that get into your mind when you get on a basketball court and why you play defense the way you do?
I think first, obviously I enjoy doing it. It's something that I don't want to take for granted. It's a way that I know that I can impact the game. So, but I really think, the foundations and the fundamentals that were kind of instilled in me at a younger age really kind of carry me a long way. So when I step on the floor, I know where I'm supposed to be at what time and where the ball is and where I'm supposed to be. So I don't have to do too much thinking when I'm playing defense. It's a lot about feel and just kind of playing with the feel for the game.
You hear that, kids? You just have to care about it. You have to want to do it. And that's one of the things I hate is how people look to defense and say, oh, it's just an effort thing. How much is it, though, skills that you have developed, like anticipation and just knowing where to be and how to pick a guy's pocket, scraping down on the post, which you're so good at? How much of a combination is that between just pure effort and skill?
I think there's definitely a good mix. You can try really hard and not be very good. So, that's when the drill work and the repetitions come into play. But every game is always a little different. Every player has different tendencies. So a lot of that comes from watching film and just being familiar with them, playing against them a couple times. But, there's definitely I hope there's some skill involved. With me, I know I felt more comfortable as I gotten older, being in different situations against different guys and, going through things the first time and learning from them and altering and changing for the second time definitely helped a lot.
Aaron Kraft with us on Buckeye Xtra, and I know I've heard you recently mention one of the big things that you got to work on for the next level is your shooting. What types of things specifically are you working on to better that shot? Something with getting the elbow more in or technique? Are you trying to go with some repetition with changing it up a little bit?
Yeah, I think a couple of things. We're just trying to shoot the same shot every time, be as consistent as possible, and feel confident and comfortable with it. We're trying to do some things that, off the dribble to make me pick the ball up probably a little cleaner. I think that's had an effect, over this year for sure. And, before that, just being able to pick the ball up clean no matter what's going on, and shooting confidently and going at it that way.
Aaron Kraft, you're on Twitter now. You just took the plunge. You're at, what is it, ACraft4? That's the Twitter handle, right?
Yeah. You did the shameless plug. I didn't, so.
Exactly, I did it. But how is it? It looks like you're having fun there. You've only tweeted 29 times, and you already have 23,000 followers, so it's a pretty good ratio there of tweets to followers. You knew that was going to happen when you jumped in. But getting to know, just browsing your page, you get to know a little bit about you. You're here at the Blue Jackets game. You're hanging out with Drew Brees. I can see who you're following. I mean, it's pretty good. Who's your favorite follow on Twitter right now?
Oh man, it's tough. It's amazing. It's definitely kind of fun. It's really enjoyable. The whole 140 characters things makes it really, really interesting. But it's hilarious. My roommates have 30,000 still. They still have 7,000 more than I do.
Right. The Kraft roommates,
and they're still growing. So it's really funny to see because they're definitely funnier than I am. And I think people want to hear their perspective more than mine anyway. But it's tough. All the followers are great. I think being able to keep up with fans and let them know, what's going on is definitely been the best part.
Were they upset at you when you got the Twitter handle because you're kind of like stealing follows away from them now? We had to go through your roommates. Now we can just go right to you.
Yeah, well, I think people would rather still go through the roommates because they're more witty and they're definitely funnier than I am. So they weren't too angry about it. I think we've had a couple Twitter conversations, and that's been pretty interesting too. But it's all in fun, and they're still having fun with it too. They knew it had to come to an end sometime, and it's slowly coming to it.
Aaron, before we let you run here, first of all, I thank you for your autograph, by the way. I didn't even ask for it, but you did a signing at Complete Nutrition a couple weeks ago, and we
Oh
were
yeah.
there, and I guess our sales guy who was there, Jeff, threw a little orange ball. You signed it. You didn't know you were signing that for me. So thanks. How much
Oh
do I
yeah.
how much do I owe you for that?
Oh yeah. That's nothing at all. Nothing at all.
Thank you,
do
buddy.
You do great work.
Hey, real quick. So next season's Buckeye team. I know you're not going to be playing for them, but I imagine you're a guy that's going to always follow them closely. You see guys like Jared Sullinger; they're all always on Twitter. You can tell they're watching the games in real time whenever they can. Who's going to surprise us on next year's team?
I think it's definitely going to have to be a senior-led team with the four they have coming back that have been through the grind and through the battles. They definitely have to be the anchor for that team. And I think Mark and Cam are really going to kind of come out next year. Obviously, with Cam redshirting, no one really saw him, but we saw him every day in practice and what he's capable of. And I think Mark will definitely come into his own as well. So I'm excited to see. And then you got the freshman class coming in that you never know, how they're going to handle it and who's going to kind of emerge from that. So they should, coach is obviously going to put him in a position to be successful. So excited to see what he does, and he's going to have some tough choices on his hands.
Aaron, really appreciate you taking the time tonight. You got serious game. Good luck as you go after your goal of reaching the NBA, which I know you'll accomplish. Thanks for giving us some time tonight, man.
Absolutely. Thank you so much.